All right. So, Jeremiah chapter 32. Of course, we're in the King James. And let's start off with about verse 30. For the children of Israel and the children of Judah have only done evil before me from their youth, for the children of Israel have only provoked me to anger with the work of their hands, saith the Lord. For this city hath been to me a provocation of mine anger, and my fury from the day that they built it, even unto this day, that I should remove it from before my face. Because of all the evil of the children of Israel and of the children of Judah, which they have done to provoke me to anger, they, their kings, their princes, their priests, and their prophets, and the men of Judah, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem, they have turned unto me the back and not the face, though I taught them rising up early and teaching them, yet they have not hearkened to receive instruction. But they set in their house abominations, but they set their abominations in the house, which is called by my name, to defile it. And they built the high places of Baal, which are in the valley of the son of Hinnom, to cause their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire unto Moloch, which I commanded them not, neither came it into my mind that they should do this abomination, to cause Judah to sin. And now therefore, thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, concerning this city whereof ye say, it shall be delivered into the hand of the king of Babylon by the sword, and by the famine, and by the pestilence. Now, you notice from where we left off with the Jezebel Spirit and Homosexual Overthrow series, I've been talking about the woes. And one in particular, along with Jezebel, who was a daughter of a Baal high priest and king. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. So, why am I talking about all this stuff? Bam! April 19th, Temple of Baal in New York is going up on significant day. You see here, this is talking about 13 days of preparation. From April the 19th through May the 1st, it's called the Feast of Beltane. Also, April the 19th being the first day of this 13-day satanic ritual day relating to fire. Man, you can't make this stuff up, folks. Check this out. I'm about to share with you some absolutely astounding information. It turns out that the exact day when the reproductions of the ark that stood in the front of the Temple of Baal are going to be erected in Times Square, New York City, and Trafalgar Square in London is also the exact day when a very important occult festival related to the worship of Baal begins. April 19th is the first day of a 13-day period of time known as the blood sacrifice to the beast that culminates on the high occult holy day of Beltane, May the 1st. In some parts of the world, Beltane is much better known as May Day, and it has been described as the Illuminatus' second most sacred holy day. As you will see below, we have indeed witnessed a disturbing series of blood sacrifices during the second half of April in recent years, and many people wonder if there is a connection. April 19th is also known as the Feast of Moloch. If you are not familiar with Moloch or Moloch, it is an ancient Canaanite god that is repeatedly denounced in the Old Testament. Child sacrifice was a key feature of the worship of Moloch, and a giant statue of this pagan deity is set up in the Bohemian Grove in Northern California every year. Side note, see Alex Jones's video, Inside the Bohemian Grove, for more information about that. Is this just a coincidence that reproductions of the arch that stood in front of the Temple of Baal and Palmyra, Syria are going up in New York and London on the precise day when the Feast of Moloch is celebrated and when the blood sacrifice to the beast begins? The organization in charge of this cultural project is the Institute for Digital Archaeology. The following comes directly from their website. On April 19th, 2016, in cooperation with National and international cultural heritage preservation organizations, and in conjunction with the World Heritage Week 2016, the Institute for Digital Archaeology will install a monumental scale reconstruction of Palmyra's Triumphal Arch on Trafalgar Square. Though this project and others like it, scheduled throughout 2016 in cities both inside and outside the Middle East, the IDA seeks to provide an optimistic and constructive response to the ongoing threats to history and heritage that have captured headlines over the past year. Our aim is to highlight the potential for triumph of human ingenuity over violence by offering innovative, technology-driven options for the stewardship of object and architecture from our shared past. Are we to believe that this date was chosen at random? Is it just some sort of weird accident that the date they decided on begins a 13-day period of time which is exceedingly significant for the worship of Baal? April 19th, May 1st, blood sacrifice to the beast, a most critical 13-day period. Fire sacrifice is required on April 19th. April 19 is the first day of the 13-day satanic ritual relating to fire, the fire god Baal, Malach Nimrod, the sun god, also known as the Roman god Saturn, Satan, the devil. This day is a major human sacrifice day, demanding fire sacrifice with an emphasis on children. This day is one of the most important sacrifice days, and as such has had some very important historic events occur on this day. And as I mentioned above, we have indeed witnessed some very noteworthy blood sacrifices during the second half of the month of April over the past few decades. This following list of events that have happened on or around April 19th comes from the Vigilant Citizen website. Excuse me. April 19, 1993, Waco Massacre. An FBI assault led to the burning down of the compound of a sect named Branch Davidians, killing 76 women, men, and children. April 19, Oklahoma City bombing, 168 people killed. April 20, 1999, Columbine High School massacre, 13 people murdered, 21 injured. April 16, 2007, Virginia Tech massacre, 32 killed, 17 injured. April 16, 2013, Boston Marathon, 30 killed, 107 injured. Let's not forget that Tamerlan Tsarnaev was shot to death on April the 19th. Also would like to note that since 2016 is a leap year, April 20th will be the 111th day of the year, and triple numbers are considered to be power dates in the occult world. This 13-day period, which begins on April 19, culminates with the high occult holy day of Beltane on May the 1st. In recent years, this occult holiday has experienced a tremendous research, especially in Europe. The origin of Beltane can be traced all the way back to the worship of Baal in the Middle East. The following comes from Examiner.com. Beltane produced Biotin begins April 30th at sundown and lasts until sunrise on May 1st. Beltane is the opposite of Halloween on the satanic calendar, as Halloween is a time of reaping, while Beltane is a time of rebirth. This holiday is a time to celebrate fertility, indulgence, the rebirth of spring, and the Sumerian god Enlil Baal. This is where the name Beltane originates. Man, very troubling article. I'm going to flip over to another one here briefly. It's reading here from Right Side News. The life-size model of the original 2,000-year-old structure known as the Arch Temple of the Baal will stand approximately 48 feet high and 23 feet wide. Will be one of two constructed in China for exhibition, likely in Times Square and London's Trafalgar Square as part of World Heritage Week event in April 2016, said Roger Mike Mitchell, Executive Director for the Institute of Digital Archaeology. I suppose that it is appropriate that these giant arches are going to be made in Japan because it seems like almost everyone is being made over there these days. But these are not the only two giant arches that are going to be made. That same article from the New York Post says that in the Institute of Digital Archaeology ultimately hopes to put 1,000 of these in cities all over the globe. The Institute plans to construct approximately 1,000 such versions of the arch in cities throughout the world. If you are anything like me, this is an extremely disturbing development. Baal worship is definitely not something that we should be celebrating as a society. There were very good reasons why the God of the Bible found it so incredibly repulsive. The following description of what went on during Baal worship comes from Scott Brown. We know that there were usually lots of people gathered, often on a high hill, like a theater or stadium, to observe public sex, just like we see in movies and television and on the internet. Numbers 22:41, 1 Kings 12:25 through 33. We think that our watching these things is different than the idolatry of old, but this is not so. The whole community came out, and all of the best pagan ideas for success in crops and fertility were promoted. Just like a business seminar that promotes unbiblical ideas that justify the worldliness of its origin. The wicked personalities, promoters, and performers were respected and given the platform like rock stars and Hollywood's people. Some of them were great dancers like Britney Spears and Madonna. I don't know about that. But while others were great musicians like Mick Jagger and Paul McCartney, questionable. 1 Kings 15:12 to 14. In our day, people who go to our churches celebrate celebrity when they should be doing the opposite. Psalms 101, verse 1, 3 says, I will walk in my house, I will set no wicked thing before my eyes. People danced around the Asherah pole, which is related, of course, to the stripper pole or strip clubs, which was nothing more than a phallic symbol. It's quite possible that these poles function somewhat like the poles in what are called gentlemen's clubs. There it is there. The people also acted out lustful, licentious, bawdy scenes for the enjoyment of all who came. Isaiah 57, 5 through 8, Deuteronomy 23, verse 17. They had all the different kinds of sexual experiences on display, including men with women, men with men, and all of the combinations that are popular today in sitcoms, movies, and news reports. On top of that, they invited the crowd to participate. 1 Kings chapter 14, verse 24. In addition to everything that you just read, child sacrifice is a central feature of Baal worship. This is what Jeremiah chapter 10, verse 4 through 6 says. Because they have forsaken me and have estranged this place and have burned incense into other gods, whom neither they nor their fathers have known, nor the kings of Judah, and have filled this place with the blood of innocents. They have built also the high places of Baal to burn their sons with fire for burnt offerings unto Baal, which I commanded not, nor spake it, neither came it into my mind. Therefore, behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that in this place shall no more be called Tophet, nor the valley of the son of Hinnom, but the valley of slaughter. We like to think that we are so much more advanced than people back then, but are we really? Just like ancient Baal worshippers, we are a society that is addicted to watching other people have sex. In fact, it has been estimated that 68% of all Christian men watch pornography on a regular basis. And just like ancient Baal worshippers, we are a society that is engaged in child sacrifice. We call it abortion, but the motives are still the same. If an unplanned or unwanted pregnancy comes along, we have a mechanism for getting rid of it, just like they did. Since Roe v. Wade was decided in 1973, we have slaughtered more than 58 million of our own children. I would venture to say that ancient Baal worshippers never got quite that much blood on their hands. On one level, I find it quite ironic that a reproduction of the part of the Temple of Baal is going up in Times Square. David Wilkerson once preached a message entitled Tearing Down the Altars of Baal at Times Square Church, and now a monument to Baal is actually being erected in Times Square. Stay tuned.